Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Starfy Origins. In the last part we started off the Undersea Temple and got a good amount of the way through it, and now we've kind of hit a dead end, so we're gonna go talk to Old Man Lobber again.
Oh, Starfy, what is it, lad? You found the prophecy. What? The prophecy was actually just an illusion created by some monster? Just what is going on here? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Mo for a while either. How odd. Now I've got you! Be gone!
We have really got to stop meeting like this, and I really gotta stop falling for it! And now we're here. Guess we'll talk about that later. This is the room that's really annoying that I was sort of foreshadowing last time when it comes to these particular platforms. You can skip a lot of them by just getting a lucky bounce and holding the jump button to bounce higher, but in a lot of cases, especially this jump right here, it is very easy just to get caught being bounced between one of those platforms and another in a way that I just don't like interacting with it. Although I do like the diagonal water jumping. I don't know why, there's something about that that's really fun. Another potentially annoying section to get through is actually between these two particular platforms, depending on the angle you come at least. Sometimes that's all that matters though, is like if you come at the wrong angle, of course you're gonna bounce the wrong way, but there's times it feels like there's only a wrong angle to get through those.
Starfy, are you alright? I'm worried about Mo, though. I haven't seen him around. I suppose you'd better search for him.
So now we gotta look for Mo, and before you go looking around the entire room, enter this door first.
You're looking for your friend Mo? I don't know who that is. You described him as being a big clam? A clam? We have to find him. He must be around here somewhere. Check the ground for picking eyes. He sounds tasty. I mean, I'm worried, so if you find him, be sure to let me know. Bring Mo here and I'll reward you something you've been looking for.
This seems suspect, but I will follow through anyway because it's the only choice we really have. So now let's actually head down here to the bottom right of this particular room, and hey, there's Mo. You're not Mo. What? What is it? Why are you bothering me? Mo? Never heard of him. I'm the Great Woe. I'm hiding from Lalaco, so stop giving me away. Yeah, there's a couple of fake Mo's in here, and I think the way this works is that it's always universally the last of the Mo eyes in the ground you check. So you have to visit every portion of this room, so you might as well just do it in an order you find comfortable that gets you close enough to the door after the fact. I guess in that regard, technically this one here in the center is the fastest to do last.
Wah! Have I been caught by Lalaco? Huh? Who are you? Mo? Who's that? You got the wrong guy. Now to go back to hiding so I don't get eaten by Lalaco.
And with that, now that one that we just saw on the left side of the screen should be Mo. This is a section I feel like even if I had played this game, had it released at its original release date-ish in the West, I would have thought went on a little long, like this feels a little unnecessary, but at the same time it's so quick it doesn't really matter to modern me as much.
Well, that didn't go so well. What's that? You've been looking for me? What for? There's a girl who wants to see me? Who's that? Come on, tell me. The name's Lalaco. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get going.
Mo, you are surprisingly easy to motivate in very specific ways. So now we can go back to Lalaco and move on with this section of the game.
Hey, let me go! What do you think you're doing with me?
Why, you look so delicious.
You bonehead!
Well, Starfy, here's what I promised.
Oh, that was easy.
Some evil monster was looking for it, so I hid it.
Oi! What is this? Help me! Starf, why, you bonehead! You risked my life so you could get that prophecy. This thing must be important, so be sure to give it a good thorough read. Alright. It appears to be authentic. Of course it is. Well then, hurry up and read the thing. Surely there must be something in there about the great hero of the future, Mo! Eh? What's this?
Oh, hello again. We don't even know your name yet. What's your deal? Yeah, I guess we're just here now.
We've been thrown somewhere again. Where are we now?
Also, that monster's waiting up ahead for you. Catch him and put an end to this. Wait, perhaps that guy who looks like he was there as well. Since he's your double, I suppose whoever wins will become my true sidekick. Hey, just kidding. Hit him with your star spin and see who gets dizzy first. It's time for our boss fight. So let's see what our doppelgangers got going on. Well, that's just not entirely fair. Destroy, Starfy. Destroy, Starfy. I am cooler. No, that's a Dragon Ball character. So Doppel's whole deal is turning into a pentagon and slowly moving towards you. The more he moves around, the faster he does get, but if you hit him, he slowly spins faster and faster to the point that after the third hit, he gets dizzy and he's open for damage. When you do that, though, he does send 3 smaller Doppels out in various directions that sometimes can hit you, and they're kind of easy to dodge, though. On his third hit, he'll bury himself into the wall somewhat randomly and then come out to try and surprise you. And then on his last hit, he sort of does an invisible homing and dash, but he's still very easy to hit. For being our Shadow the Hedgehog in this one stage, not a very threatening boss fight whatsoever.
He ran away. Serves him right. So were all those bosses from before also his doing?
Huh, what'd he drop?
It's the prophecy. And some sort of strange jar. So the prophecy I understand, but what's with the jar? I don't get it.
Whatever, let's just get the prophecy to Old Man Lobber.
Well done, lads. But it seems that monster's run off to Puff Top. Well done indeed. So what are we doing here? Well, have a listen. Are you aware that this is once where Puff Top was? Starfy's ancestors were invited by the stars to move their kingdom to the sky. As messengers from Puff Top stopped coming, this prophecy is all they left behind here. That's why we're here. By reading the prophecy, perhaps we can discover what Starfy and you should do next.
In the past, a great storm engulfed the ocean. It was the work of a terrible monster called Ogura, who caused widespread havoc. However, a brave hero appeared in the sea that was ruled by Ogura. The hero overcame Ogura's challenges one by one before eventually cornering him. But then Ogura escaped and took over Puff Top.
This hero must be me, and Ogura must be that guy.
It seemed no matter how many times Ogura was defeated, he would always return. Even the hero was not able to truly defeat him.
Then what? Then what? Let's see what's next.
The hero's servant used to conceal.
Any further pages are too dirty to read. It must be the work of Ogura. But it was just getting good. Hey, my servant, Starf, you got anything that could help? Starfy, a servant? Oh, it seems you two should head to Puff Top. If you take the prophecy to the top of the temple and wait, a messenger should come. Just leave it to me. I'm the hero, after all.
Sure you are, Mo. Sure. You keep telling yourself that. Also, did we need the slow pan up to the top where we talked to that character last part? We could have just cut up to here.
Woo, jellyfish.
Away we go! Into probably my favorite level of the game. Riding the messenger from Puff Top. The adventure in the sky begins. The Undersea Temple is also a very good level. There's maybe one portion I think they could have removed, and it is that portion with the other clams at the very end. Because it just feels a little too extraneous, but again, it's over so quickly, it doesn't really matter. And hey, we've reached over 1,000 total Star Pearls collected. 1/9 of the way there. Oh boy. With that, though, it is now time for Stage 7/8, the Sea of Sky. At last, head toward the sky and chase after Ogura. We're getting close to our castle, finally. And now we have a lot of sky water, which I guess actually is just what clouds are to begin with. And now I jump cut because it took me like a minute to get into that particular door because I was bad at aiming at it. This is a very good room for grabbing some Star Pearls because there's a lot in here. But I don't go after all of them because I had other things to do the night I was recording this after this, so I kind of rushed through this level a little bit. Outside of this section, though, where the sky water is, we're essentially repeating the section we went through in the last level to actually go get the information about the Undersea Temple from Ho Run, as well as grab the magic set. Just instead of having the bouncy platforms, it's Skywater, and actually a very fun way to go through this particular stage, at least this portion of this stage, is to rhythmically tap the spin button in such a way that you just spin from water section to water section, never quite getting dizzy as long as you're good about tapping the rhythm. It's very easy, I find, to overcompensate with the Ultra Star Spin speed, to mash it just one step too fast and get dizzy, which can cause some pretty heavy loss of progress in a section like this without water. In fact, that actually might be why this is one of my favorite levels in the game. It's surprisingly one of the, well, I guess not so surprising because it is the sky. It's probably the level that has the most actual, like, platforming in it rather than just swimming around. And not for nothing, Starfy as a character has a very good weight versus control feeling to his jump. So actually platforming this game does feel very good, and the hover only helps with that. What I really like about this level, though, is how the latter sections of it all work, both in terms of their actual platforming mechanics, but also the structure of this level is radically different than the others.
You're too late, Prince Starfy. That ogre guy has already passed through the Sea of Sky, causing all sorts of havoc.
Puff Top is now under my control. Just wait until Starfy sees what's become of it. Dragon, Flychew, and Crabbles, come forth, my minions. Stop Starfy from reaching Puff Top. Destroy him, destroy! Starfy, though you may be brave and strong, Puff Top belongs to me.
Ogre called upon 3 strong minions to help him. Unless you defeat them all, you won't be able to reach Puff Top. Prince Starfy, you must get rid of those guys. Now jump on my back. You'll also be able to ride on any of my friends you see.
So, you might have noticed Ogre spawned in 3 monsters there instead of the one they did in the last stage, is flashback. This stage is sort of I guess it is a boss rush in one regard, but it's against entirely new boss fights. For now, time for the final minigame, Fruit Plucker. Fruit, I want to eat fruit! Hey, since I can't fly, want to get some fruit from the top of that tree for me?
I'm sure someone like you could get a whole bunch.
This is an annoying minigame. Head Starfy into the fruits and catch them as they fall. Catch the required amount within the time limit to win. You lose if Starfy touches the spikes, so watch out. And the usual controls for the minigames apply. So we have a tree here in the background that will spawn several different fruits that have different point values. We need to reach a certain amount before the timer runs out, and you need to hit a fruit to knock it off the tree and then catch it with Mo, all the while trying to still make sure Starfy doesn't hit the spikes on the bottom of the screen. All the while, there are crows flying about left to right and right to left, and any fruit they have, be it one that's falling towards you or still on the tree, they will eat up and you will not be able to get the points from them. The only exception to that is I think they're meant to be chestnuts, the spiky things, because they will just get stuck on those and essentially just vanish. But they can also stun Mo, so make sure you don't knock them down onto him.
You did it! Thanks! Take these pearls.
There's notably a watermelon that can spawn towards the later part of the timer there that's worth like 5 points, so grabbing 2 of those is good. And also, they're the only fruit that crows cannot collect. But they do take more hits to knock off the tree. Whoa, it's dangerous here, Stuff. I wouldn't fall if I were you. Looks like there are Julies here that you can ride as well.
Hey! Well, I guess you can hop on my back when you're ready to go.
So this first door, we have a little bit of a semi-auto scroller going on where we need to get on top of that jellyfish and then ride it from the right to the left. However, I'm coming down here to grab these star pearls because every star pearl counts, really. But you can just wait until later to grind them all in one place. That's actually kind of tied to this level anyway. I don't know what it is specifically. This is sort of just a gaming-wide thing. Auto-scrollers themselves can range from very interesting to very boring. But when they're handled like this, when you're riding something where you can actively fall and restart, I think they're more interesting. I think it just comes down to the tension's radically different. Like, instead of, okay, if I fall, I die in most cases, it's, okay, I fall and I start over, which in some regards, because you actually have to walk back in those cases a lot of the time, is more annoying, but it makes it so that you actually, or at least it makes it feel like you actually have a little more, reward's not the right word, incentive to not fall, I guess, and die. On top of that, in these cases, you don't usually have those cases like what often happens to me in the auto-scrolling, like, airship stages in Mario 3, where I've caught up to the right side of the screen. I need to now wait for it to scroll more to the right so that I can, you know, progress on the level. Because with these, you're usually more towards the center of the screen universally, and there's not much you can do about it. It feels like it's done at a better pace. What's also kind of fun about this particular platforming section here, the second jellyfish here, you can ride all the way to the end, but this last bit of platforming, if you're very good about jumping, you can completely ignore the jellyfish and get right to the end of this section. And that's probably why I also don't mind sections like this to begin with as much as normal auto-scrollers, because there's a lot of cases where if you know the controls well enough, you can skip what they want you to do. Some weak-looking monster just went through this door. You should have no trouble beating something so wimpy. But what if it turns out to be strong? You coward, just look for a weak point or something. Time for our first boss fight of the 3 in this stage. This is Kragan. And well, Mo's right. He's a lot stronger than he initially looks, though he's pretty easy all the same, and I actually like that his eyes actually follow Starfy. I like when games do this because you can get some really silly looking screenshots out of them like that. So the way this fight works, he's gonna send 2 tentacles out. One out of the ceiling, one out of the floor usually. And then they'll start flailing about the longer we get into the health bar. One of the tentacles has a red glowing dot on it. Hit that twice to do damage to the health bar. The way the attacks of this fight work are that if you touch the top of either of his tentacles, they grab you and start flailing about to just do some damage to you. Thankfully, since you do 1 HP of damage to a boss at a time, they can only do that to you as well. To my knowledge, there is not a single attack in this game that can do more than 1 hit point to you in boss fights or otherwise, and I'm very glad, because I don't think games like this really need something like that usually. And that's that boss fight done. So now that we've beaten that boss, we're going to be teleported to a room that has a mermaid shell and 2 doors, though one of them is blocked off by sealed blocks, so we can't access that for a while yet. The other one leads back to the room with the minigame. The door we just went through collapses, and now some more clouds spawn in, so you can actually access the next door. There is a part of me, and I think this is just like the Mega Man stage in me, / Mega Man boss rush in me, that wishes you could choose which of these 3 doors you did in what order, at least out of the first 2 maybe, let you choose whatever order you do. But now we can access a different platforming section. That cloud with an arrow on it, you can ride it upward. Try and jump and one on top of it and see what happens. So I brought up the Mario 3 airship stages earlier. This mechanic is ripped right out of, I think that was World 7 of Mario 3? The various clouds in here, whenever you jump on them, the arrow they're pointing switches and then will start moving in that direction. This does go a step further than that mechanic in Mario 3 though, in that in Mario 3 they only moved in the 4 cardinal directions. We got ones here that move diagonally. The diagonal ones are kind of tricky to work with, because as you can see, they're a little jittery, and there's times where the spike platforms that are above you, you might just clip the side of it and still take that hit. Not that it really matters though, because there are plenty of star pearls in this particular section to just recover your health should you need to. The more annoying thing weirdly in that case are actually the airplane enemies, because they spawn at a decent enough click where there's times where they're kind of hard to get around. Mind you, it's not like you can't kill them yourself, a simple spin's all you need to do. But in the case you're trying to, say, skip some of this section by doing a running jump on the cloud to reach the next layer, you might take a dumb hit there and have to do that entire section over again, depending on what goes on. One annoying thing that can happen in this section, though, with the planes, which is why they're a little more annoying, actually. Sometimes when you either get hit by them or you hit them at a weird angle, you will automatically be bounced upwards because, say, you hit them on, like, the top right of their sprite, you'll be bounced upwards because of that. And that can trigger the cloud to change its direction, and in some cases that can throw you directly into a spike, so be careful with that. Another monster's waiting for you up ahead. Hit the guy who's riding the cloud from above. This boss is Flychew. It is a little mouse on a cloud with a cannon on it. It is adorable. You need to hit this boss on the mouse, which means you need to get above it somehow. Ultra Star spinning out of the water is a perfect way to do that. The cannon will fire miniature clouds at you at various patterns, and anytime you hit the mouse, it flies to a specific part of the screen through the water cloud in the middle, so that can count as an attack itself, before doing a different movement pattern. Like, it starts just kind of staying on the top and stays on the left or right, but then it eventually starts doing arcs around the entire little sky puddle, so be careful all the same. With that said, if you know where it's going, you can very quickly take this boss out. It's probably the easiest out of the three we're facing this level. Thus, though, 2 sections of this level are done, 1 to go. I like this level a lot because it presents several ideas very quickly that all work pretty well with the game's platforming. And none of them feel like they overstay their welcome, because there's always at least 1 section per level that maybe goes on just a tad too long. On top of that, I like this game's general boss fight designs to begin with, and this has some of my favorites in the game. Darkness mechanics back.
Hey, what's going on here? It's so dark I can't see.
Starf.
This is no time to be afraid. Try to remember the layout of the room whenever there's light.
So this is them sort of doing the usual darkness mechanic stuff I usually don't like, where you need to wait for the lightning to strike to see more of the level. But for one thing, on any screen that's not the original Game Boy Advance, you can probably see where the platforms are even when it's dark pretty well. But also the Star Pearls do a good enough job of guiding you around. Plus, though this might be my recklessness coming into play, because there's enough Star Pearls along the way and a mermaid shell at the end of this area, you can just face tank whatever damage you get along the way to heal immediately all at the end before the boss fight coming up. Like so.
There's a monster in here as well. The 3rd one at last.
Remember that you can spin upwards out of the water to get some major air. Time for the 3rd boss fight. This is Crabot, a character design I actually really like. This fight's a little interesting in that it actively has shields before its main health bar in its claws. Each claw can take 2 shots before it's destroyed, and whenever you destroy a claw, it'll automatically do a spread shot of its electric attack, which you can still destroy with a spin. Every single hit, it'll restore its claws as well. What you can do, and are sort of meant to do in this fight, is to use the jumps to kind of curl around the boss and hit it through the claws before they can get to you. But you can just take out the claws and not have to worry about it. There are also clouds that will spawn in that you can use as platforms to either take out the claws, or in some cases will actually lead you up towards where the boss is to begin with, because some of them will raise up. The thing to really watch out for on our first one is that every time you do hit this boss, it does immediately fire its spread shot of projectiles, and while you can take them out, if you're trying to rush up to the boss, it's probably easy to get thrown off guard by that, and after hitting some, probably fall right into some of the other shots. Also, occasionally the clouds can do thunder strikes towards the water, which is seldom ever a threat, because it's not like them hitting the water electrifies the entire body of water, which would actually be a threat to this boss fight. And now we have a checkpoint that doesn't actually serve much of a purpose, because now that we defeated the 3rd boss, we've reached Puff Top. That is the end boss for this stage.
So this is Puff Top. Because of you, we spent all that time coming here. All right, I'm going in. Shoot, this door, it's locked. But there's an open window up there we can sneak in from. Come on, Starf.
At long last, Starfy has arrived at Puff Top. And with that, we have now reached the final level of the main campaign. The Sea of Sky is a pretty good level. I like its setup a lot. I like the bosses. I like the miniature platforming challenges. It all comes across pretty well. And now that we've hit over 1,200 particular Star Pearls, we've now got Starfy on the postcard. Hell yeah. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 8, Endgame. See you guys then.